Hello everyone, how are you doing? In this video, I am going to share with you why I love perennial cut flowers so much and how they save my roadside farm stand. I will also give you like a mini perennial flowers tour showing you what are blooming in my garden this time of the year in early summer. I will also share tips and tricks how I grow them, how I take care of them throughout this video. And bonus, I am going to make a wildflowers hand tie bouquet in this video too. Alright? I love perennial flowers so much because I just love them. They're like an old friend who would come and hang out with me every year for a little bit. And then, when it's time, they just bye-bye and then they come back again next year. They're also supportive, reliable friends too, because they help me with my roadside stand a lot since early spring. Especially the focal flowers, starting from daffodils, then tulips. By the way, I am treating my tulips as perennials because I don't have the heart to pull them out and throw them away. Then I have the irises, clematis, then I have the peonies, and then roses. And now, this time of the year, I still have a lot of perennial flowers, but I don't have a lot of focal flowers. And this is also the reason why I try so hard to start my zinnias early, because this time of the year, I always short focal flowers. But I am going to try my best to fulfill my flower stand tomorrow. We have this mountain hydrangea shop since we moved in. Although they don't have like full mop head, like a cloud, but they are so cute. And plus, they were grown by the previous owner of the house, and to me they are meaningful, very meaningful, and they help with my stand every year too, although they're not focal flowers. And I learned that the best time to cut them is when the middle little blooms start to popping up, and then when I put in the vase for my customer, it will continue to pop up little by little, every day. Lavender are one of the very first perennial cut flowers that I grow from seed, because I remember, that's during COVID. We figured out, right? So we went to garden center. That's how we deal with anxiety. Just go to garden center, and then I, grab a lot of vegetable seeds because I was afraid that, we will have no food to eat. That's so crazy. Anyway, I grabbed the lavender seeds and then I brought home, and then I started along, side by side with the lettuce. And then I watched them grow like very, very slowly. But anyway, I just take care of them, and then I plant them in this garden behind me. And now 3 years, 4 years later, I have this lavender to harvest for at least 10 more years. And this year I also plan to start them from seed again, and I am going to plant them more again. And this is one of my very first flowering shrubs that I grow in my garden too, because back then I see this spot when we moved in. They are between two trees, there's not a lot of sunlight, and I was looking up what are the flowers that are good for partial sun, partial shade, and I found the hydrangeas. And I want to share this with you. One of the influencers that inspired me to grow hydrangeas back then is Daniel from the Wildflower farm. But I am not going to cut them yet because the center is still soft and tender. They can wilt in the flower arrangement. So I'm gonna wait for them to mature a little bit. If I have to, I can cut this one. But still, I'm gonna wait a little bit. This fuel field is 3 years old, and I used to hate them so much because the smell. They smell a little weird, but I feel like I'm used to them now. My flower friend, wedding florist, love them so much, and she bought, like one big bucket from me already, and I just cut and make money. I also share with Jessie from Bear Flower Farm that I don't take care of these at all. They just come back every year and bloom prolifically every year, but I'm not sure about the 4th year, so I have to think about this. I don't really remember why I go yarrow. I think because, I see them on the seed company website. Before I check out, I probably add them to the cart. But I find out that there are native flowers in New Jersey and they support bee and butterflies, and they are so good for the garden, and they are so good for my bouquets too. I just can't believe my dahlias are blooming right now. I buried this clump in about summer last year in my vegetable garden because I ran out of space. Then in fall, I ran out of space for my ranunculus, so I create like a tunnel here. And because, in the tunnel it's warmer than outside, this guy got a jump start and they are wonderful. I didn't pinch this dahlia at all when they were young because I just want to break the rule, and also I want to see what would happen if I don't pinch them. Here's what happened. The stem are super big and they just support itself. I don't have to put stake or anything at all. And I agree, when they have big stem, it's very difficult to arrange. But the top of the stem, they're not that big of the deal. And I can still cut it and put in my mason jar bouquet. But I can see the problem when you try to sell to florists, And besides perennial flowers, I also recommend self-seed flowers like this Cosmos Sulfur. They just self-seed itself in my vegetable garden and they're just so cute. Oh my gosh. They are my lifesaver. I often get a question, Crane, I would like to have a naturalistic flower garden style like yours. How should I start? And my answer to them would be to incorporate with Mother's Nature. For instance, when I am trying to grow something in a particular area or, spot in my garden and they are not doing well, I take that as a sign from Mother's Nature that, that spot is not right for that flowers or that plant. And then, I just let them bye-bye. And at the same time, there are times that, Mother Nature select the best spot for my flowers for me. Like this self-seed larkspur, this self-seed cornflowers. Mother Nature just picked this spot for them to grow. And the only thing I have to do is just to let them grow. and then just cut and cut them. And this thing, I forgot the name. It just grows like in between the crack, between the break. Crazy. To be honest with you, I am a little nervous because I know that wildflower style bouquets are not for everybody. I'm not sure if my local customers are going to come to my flower stand today because, there's no focal big flowers like roses, like peonies, zinnias, dahlias. Actually, there's 2 dahlias. But this could be tough, especially tomorrow, on Saturday, my big day. So today I just put 2 bouquets to test it out, and let's see how it goes. Thank you.
Monday morning blues. I open my eyes and I'm greeted by a cute little smile. The world is new with you by my side. Everything is beautiful. Tuesday afternoon, I'm calling you home just to hear your voice on the phone. I think of you and I'm not alone. You are everything under the sky so blue. I found my piece of heaven, spending my days with you. You are my piece of heaven.
Last week, I did a classic flower arrangement following the flower school rules, design, theories, techniques very strictly. In this video, I am going to break all the rules. I am going to be a badass dromelia. I am going to do something in opposite. No, I'm kidding. I see one comment is very good. She said that in the flower school, because they have to come up with theories or techniques that is very easy to digest for, somebody who learning to arrange flowers. By the way, these are cilantro. I can eat it. I mean, I'm supposed to eat it with food, not like. Anyway, this cilantro, they self-seed in my new flower bed because, the seed were in the compost that I used in that flower bed. And I let it grow. Now let's break the first rule from flower school. I am going to use only 1 stem of feverfew because it's already so big. I'm gonna use it as the structure. I'm gonna marry it with the cilantro. And now I'm going to use this, some kind of weed, it's like cress, that they self-seed all over my garden. So I keep cutting it before they self-seed again. And I am going to use only 2 stems of them. Okay, now we have like very airy structure. And now I am going to use 1 stem of these flowers that self-seed in my garden from last year. I didn't do anything with them at all, they just come back. Then 2 stems of this mountain hydrangeas. Put right here. I think I'm gonna add more cilantro to make it more wild. I am going to adjust the height to make it more wild as much as I can. But you know what? Even myself, I stuck with my own style, with my own technique, with my own color combination. Because I have been doing this for 2 years, and every time I'm trying to do something new, it still comes out in the end representing my style. But this time I am going to try something very wild that I haven't done before. And here the bachelor button. They are one of the cool flowers that self-seed in fall and then they grow slowly in the flower row and they just bloom beautifully in spring without fertilizer, without irrigation, without anything at all. People say that they are pretty difficult to cut. That is, true, but I don't cut them every day. And I often, leave them in the garden to, cheer up myself. And here, Verbena bonariensis. It took me 3 years to achieve this look in my garden. I started them from seed. I didn't buy the plant at all. But you know what? It's so worth it. Seeing them grow slowly, seeing them being small the first year and taller the second year and then very tall the third year. I would prefer this versus, buy a big plant and see them die the next year. And I am going to make them float on top of other flowers very tall because I wanna mimic their look in my garden. Now it's time for the larkspur. I have been waiting for these. They are so cute. And again, they are cool flowers. I started them in fall and just let them take their own time. Now it's time for these bellflowers, perennial. They are very invasive. They spread by rhizome. If you don't already have them in your garden, don't try to grow them, okay? But if you have something similar look, you can, try to use them on the side of the bouquet and make them kind of, float like a bell. Although we are doing wildflowers, but, it's nice to have. See, I cheat a little bit. It's nice to have some focal flowers like the rose. I mean, I can't be too wild. I have to add some beautiful focal flowers. Oh, that's pretty. And this two, I'm gonna make it very tall. And this one, I'm gonna make it very short to try to be wild. And because I picked these peachy roses, I have to pick something peachy too. So I get this calendula from my vegetable garden. They're not really wildflowers, but the daisy shape make them look wild. And again, I am going to add just 2 stems of them. And here's poppy, the real wildflowers. I know they cultivore, that means they, cultivated to have this look, this color. They're not really wild, but they're gonna help me make this bouquet wild too. Now I'm gonna add all the cilantro that I have left because I'm not gonna eat them, to be honest with you. They are too bitter. And see, while I am trying to make this bouquet wild, I still automatically do the spiral technique. And when you do wildflowers look, try to add some ornamental grass, like this calceolose grass. It's gonna make it look like you cut this from the meadow. And here's the nigella green pot that they self-seed outside my cut flower row. I just let them grow because I don't have the heart to pull them out. Now I'm gonna add the lavender. Surprise! Floret golden hours finally blooming. And they are also peachy color, so I'm gonna add them on this side. They could be hidden in the other wildflowers, but that's okay because, I like this bouquet to be wild. And they pick up the peachy color of the roses and the calendula. Annual phlox, they are not too wild, but they, again, have the peachy color. And some of them have like the purple center, which will pick up the hydrangeas and the bellflowers. They have very short stems, so I will, put them on the side. The other years I learned from my flower friend that if you like to have annual flocks, have longer stems, you have to keep clipping the flowers before they bloom until you achieve the height that you would like to get. Then you let them bloom. And the last step is to use up all the little side branches. So I'm gonna be careless, just add them on the side, although they look like so small. Oh, I forgot I have the yarrow too, and they have peachy color, and they are perennials. Jesse from Bear Flower Farm talked about them. They are such a reliable flowers, and plus they're native to my area too, which is New Jersey. Although I am trying to be wild, but I am going to check if I can adjust anything. Ay. Ta-da!
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready? Let me be honest, I don't know a single thing that I haven't done to make you notice me. Let me be real here. When I see you, my heart starts racing, but I don't know if I like this chasing and playing and waiting around. It's a shame that my hands start shaking all of the time when you're around me. But this time, girl, I know what's bothering me. I need somebody to love. Oh, nah, 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 nah. Don't you see what's wrong with me? I need somebody to love. Oh, oh, nah, nah.
I was very possessive of my flowers, especially perennial flowers, because they are going to bloom only once a year. And I love them so much, I don't want anybody to touch my flowers. I remember a few years ago, Jason cut the lily from my garden to give to somebody. I was so mad at him, I could not talk to him for like several hours, which was very unusual because, I generally don't get mad at him more than 15 minutes. And when I started my roadside farm stand, I had no choice. I had to cut my perennial flowers to fulfill my farm stand. And, as soon as I started sharing the beauty from my garden to others, the miracle happened. I start having, customers who care so much about me and, adore me and adore my flowers. And it made me feel really good. I also realized that these perennial flowers, they are not going to stay with me in my garden forever. Like today, the rain probably going to knock a lot of them down. And tomorrow I will have a lot of damaged flowers in my garden. If I don't have the rain, it could be the heat or it could be the drought. Or they, eventually will wilt on the plants because they're not going to last forever. But if I share them with others, they will last forever in other people's memories. Today, I could not sell one of my bouquet because I had to close the stand sooner because the forecast said, we're gonna have the rainstorm. So I decided to boost up that bouquet and gave it to the editor of this local magazine that feature me in the magazine. As soon as I finished the bouquet, I received 2 phone calls saying that my wildflowers bouquet are so beautiful and they would like to order. You taping me for? It's your gutter.
It's all the gutters. So too much. It's overwhelming.
Fall very easily. In this flower bed, we're really proud of. This is only its second year. So last year, we planted it, cuttings, divided plants, seed, goodness gracious, and now look at it.
And moved a rhododendron from another one over here. And
lots of stuff is happening.
one that's hiding that we definitely need to move in autumn is this one. I displaced it. Yeah, that's a great.
You can start growing perennial cut flowers at any time of the year, but when they are going to bloom, that's the different story. For example, the rudbeckia right here, I started them in January. I planted them in around March to April, and now they are blooming. However, they are smaller than the one that I started did last summer. You can wait to start this rudbeckia seed in late summer, but I am going to just start them now in early summer because I don't want to forget about it. I know for sure they're not going to bloom this year, but I'm not going anywhere. My garden not going anywhere. And just in case that these seeds are not good, I have the time to reorder them. The main drawback of perennial cut flowers is that they can take, a lot of space, and I know that you guys don't have a lot of space in your backyard. So here's the trick. You can interplant, mix the perennial cut flowers with the annual cut flowers. For example, this nigella, they are going to bloom pretty soon. After that, they're gonna die, right? So I will take this as opportunity to sow the delphinium in between each nigella. So after they die, the delphinium will germinate. I treat my tulips as perennials because once I bury the bulbs in the ground, I don't want to put them out. I want them to stay with me in my garden forever if possible. Last year, I pulled the bulbs out because I follow the, flower farmer practice for long stem. But I learned that, I sell mason jar bouquets and I don't need that long of the stem. And this year I buried the bulbs in my vegetable garden raised bed, and I let the leaves, absorb the sunlight after I cut the flowers. And now the leaves have dry back and the bulbs are fully fed from the sunlight. And it's time for me to reclaim my vegetable garden space back, and I will sow lettuce right here. When I was younger, I often asked my aunts, my grandparents, why they give away their lettuce, their tomatoes, corns, and vegetables to the neighbors. I felt like it's so unfair because my aunts and my grandparents, they work so hard in the farm. They put so much time and energy to their vegetables. I didn't understand why they share their vegetables with the neighbors until I grow cut flowers and open my roadside stand. I just learned that, it's not just that the neighbors came in and take the flowers, the vegetables. There were relationships. I didn't see, when the neighbor kept my grandparent and my aunt's company I didn't see when the neighbors did them a favor. And right now I totally understand.
I am going to gift the bouquet to 4 little ballerinas that work very hard, one of which is my granddaughter that dances 5 days a week. And I know she'll appreciate it. All of them will. And it's even more special because it came from your garden. My little granddaughters used to play with the fairy garden when they were very teeny and tiny, and I wanted to gift it to somebody that I knew who would appreciate it. I don't like them. I love them.
Aww.
And they're going to 4 very special little girls sharing with me today.
The perennial cut flowers and all the other flowers in my garden, they do not only save my roadside farm stand, but they also save me from myself, from building this wall around me to not connect with other people. I wouldn't know a lot of wonderful, nice, kind people in my community. I wouldn't get to connect with other local flower farmers who have become my flower friends. I wouldn't get to connect with you all here on my little supportive gardening community on YouTube. I wish I could send you a lot of bouquets to all of you, but if I do that, I would be broke. Sorry. So I will share this columbine. It's like ruffle variety seeds with you all, not you all, with 20 of you here on my YouTube channel. If you're interested, just fill in the form in the end of this video, and then I will eeny, meeny, miny, mo and pick 20 winners and announce in the next video. You know, this columbine not going to bloom this year for sure. They're probably gonna bloom a little bit to none next year. But whenever they bloom, I hope, you know, they remind you of me and my garden. Alright guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for joining my little flower journey. You have made my hobby, my side hustle, become so much more meaningful than just grow, cut, arrange, and sell flowers. There are so much love and support in every step of the process. In a good days, we celebrate the flowers together. In a bad day, we hear out each other and give each other emotional support. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.